Even though this is my favorite time of the year, I've been feeling a little scattered in my professional career. It's when I have a lot of things I need to accomplish, I have a lot of tasks that need to be finished, and I feel like I'm being pulled in so many different directions that nothing is getting completed. In September, I felt like the momentum of my professional career was really moving forward and I was feeling very optimistic and hopeful for the future. But since October has rolled around, I've been feeling a little bit of a lull. And even though the video work is continuing on and there is still great momentum, I just don't have the optimism I did last month. I feel like the confidence is a little bit lowered and I feel like it's difficult to focus on the tasks that I need to complete. Now don't confuse this with burnout, because I don't feel overworked or burnt out or anything. I just don't really know exactly what I want to do or where I want to go next. So this is not an unfamiliar feeling to me. And I know that a lot of you can relate to this feeling as well, but what the hell is with these ups and downs, these ebbs and flows, these peaks and valleys, these strikes and gutters? You get the point. When I'm feeling a little low about the progress of my work, it becomes glaringly clear what is not helping me dig myself out of this rut. Unfortunately, these things are very prominent in everyday life and pretty hard to avoid. But in my experience, I find it helpful to point out the things that are not making things easier for me. Social media is the most obvious one. I hate admitting how addicting social media is for me. I check it too often and for no reason, and it's just unhealthy. I've said this before, but constantly checking social media is like going to the fridge to find something to eat over and over again and never finding anything there. Health comes into play a lot as well. The better I feel, the harder I work. But sometimes I don't get enough rest. Or I had one too many the night before. Or I've been thinking or worrying about my other job a little too much. The balance can sometimes just feel thrown off, and it takes effort to get back on track. I also have stints where I can't think of any ideas for videos. Take this video for example. I had no idea what I wanted to make. So when I had a conversation with one of my buddies, he said, why not just make a video about how you're feeling right now? Make a video about feeling scattered and what you do to combat it. So how does one combat it? How does one go from a valley to a peak? Well, there are obviously hundreds of articles and videos on this topic online, but here are a few personal methods that I use that help me get back on track. Deep and meaningful conversations. Our days are filled with pointless small talk with coworkers or strangers or family and friends, and I think that it's important to schedule time with like-minded people to have actual meaningful conversations about goals and the future and just sort of what we're feeling at the time. This has been very helpful for me. More reading. Whenever I'm feeling scattered, I realize that I haven't been reading enough. It inspires me, it gets the creative juices flowing a little bit, and it actually challenges the mind a little bit more. So whether it be fiction or nonfiction, just pick up a book. Less screens. And I'm not just talking about your phone, even though that's probably the major culprit here. I'm talking about TV, tablets, computer screens, all screens. I'm not saying take a break from them for a week or even for a full day, but consciously take a moment out of your day to just turn the screens off a little bit and just have a moment away from them. I find it to be pretty helpful. Also, a cool exercise that I do every now and again is before I go to sleep, I go back to the beginning of my day and I try to think back of how much screens I was using throughout that day. And sometimes it's very shocking to actually realize how much time I was spending all day long staring at a screen. So that can add a little bit more perspective for you as well. Way less social media. I don't think I need to continue to beat this dead horse here. I think we get the point. A moment of pure quiet. No electronics, no chatter, just quiet. Just listening to the world turn. I do this a couple times a day for about a minute or two. Journaling. I've preached journaling in previous videos and I've actually kind of cut back on journaling a little bit. I should get back into it, but it is very helpful to just let it all out on the page and just sort of put it all out there. It's almost like lifting the weight off your own shoulders. Going to the movie theater. This is a big one for me, just to go to the theater, sit in that seat, turn off your phone, don't have to talk to anybody for a couple hours and just lose yourself in a story. I think that it's very inspiring and I always leave the theater feeling a little bit more refreshed. Watching behind the scenes of movies. Now, this might be a little bit more specific for me, but I think that it can apply to a lot of people in a lot of different career fields. And that's because it shows you how much hard work goes into something, that nothing worth doing is easy. And I think that watching the behind the scenes really just makes me put in perspective that a lot of people think that films are just made out of thin air. They'll go into a movie and watch it and be like, well, that was garbage, moving on to the next one. But this gives you a chance to see that so many people, so much effort, so much hard work went into something that they believe they were creating that is beautiful. And for me, that's very motivating. On the YouTube channel, The Art of Improvement, he does a video on why it's so important to follow through on tasks that are very difficult, that are hard. I find this to be an important lesson to learn because most people in life want the easy route. They want to play it safe. The easy road is a crowded road. Doing things that are difficult or hard is intimidating, and people don't want to do them, just simply don't. But that leaves the people that are willing to do the hard things, that are willing to go the extra mile, that hard road is a lot less crowded. It's when these lulls happen, it's when these times of scatteredness and lack of motivation or lack of optimism, that's the times to step up. That's when we need to get it together and work harder than everybody else. You know, it'll always pay off in the end. After every lull, there's always going to be a high. And I always have to remind myself, oh, it's hard, Nate? Things are hard right now? Well, yeah, that's what, if you're trying to accomplish something that you want to move forward in, and if you're trying to accomplish something that's difficult, it's going to be hard work, and it's going to have to be consistently hard. It's not going to be like that forever. And that's something I always have to keep in mind. It's like, you know, it's not going to be a lull forever. It's going to get better, so just fight through it. Now's the time. The lulls are just part of the process, and they make the highs feel even better. And even as I make this video, I feel myself shifting out of that lull and that feeling of being scattered. And there's a lot of great advice and a lot of great methods out there, so just find out what works best for you, because we all know that it's really easy to give in to the lull. But take the hard road. I swear the destination will be well worth it. Alright guys, so that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear what your methods are for getting out of these lulls or feeling scattered. What do you do to get you back on track? Leave all your comments down below. Also, if you just want to talk about how excited you are about Halloween and the spooky season, because I know I am, leave all your comments down below for that as well. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you in the near future.